Growing up, there was always a little piece of paper taped to the mirror in the small bathroom that I shared with my sisters. My mother had placed it there at some point, and it stayed there for many years, for as long as I can remember, until it was worn and tattered and the tape had actually turned yellow. Typed on this little piece of paper were these words: "Attempt to do something for God that is so great that if He's not in it, is doomed to fail." As I stand here today, this sentence rings very true, as Radiant Church stands on the edge of the biggest opportunity we've ever had in our young history. 3 years ago, Radiant began here in McDonough with a passion to reach hurting people and those far away from God in South Metro Atlanta. Our vision has always been to reflect Christ in our families, our community, across cultural boundaries, and to the world. And we've seen God do some wonderful works through this young church. And now Radiant has a unique opportunity to purchase its own building in an incredible location at a great price. We've been praying for our own building that would be spacious enough to allow us to do more outreach and various ministries on campus, especially for children, youth, and community causes. I've been asked personally by the school superintendent to adopt some schools in our area. We also have the opportunity to be one of the pioneering churches in a new program called Family Promise that will help transform the lives of homeless families in our county. In order to do these kinds of things, however, we need our own building. We've been praying for a place that would be a home where we could grow for many years. A place that would also be visible to our community, allowing us to have permanent signage. We've been praying for a place that would be easily accessible to the interstate, because we have people from 10 different counties now that consider Radiant their home church. We've been praying for a place from which we could plant other churches, and also a place that would be affordable. Our trustees and I, as well as our overseers and other trusted leaders outside of Radiant, believe we have found a space that would meet all these requirements and more. Let me share a little bit about it with you. I'm actually standing in it right now. The property is located at 844 Hampton Road, which is also known as Highways 20 and 81. It's the former Rec Warehouse retail store where hot tubs and pool tables were sold. It's a foreclosed property that's been vacant since December 2013. The total building is 17,100 square feet, and it's located within the city limits of McDonough. The zoning already allows for a church with no additional rezoning or permits necessary. I've spoken with the mayor, the director of development for the city, the building inspector, the fire marshal. All of them have spoken positively about the possibility of Radiant Church occupying this property. The building is exactly 1/2 mile from the interstate and 1 block from Walmart, Lowe's, shopping, restaurants, and directly across the street from the Piedmont Urgent Care, and just 1.5 miles from downtown McDonough Square. This stretch of highway is now the most traveled roadway in all of Henry County, excluding the interstate, of course, with over 25,000 cars per day going by. We've met with several contractors, and the one who seemed to be most professional has worked for some members in our church and has given us a very fair estimate. He also stressed that the cost could be significantly reduced if we could have volunteers from Radiant or other churches help us with certain parts of the construction. The trustees and I have met with the president of a local bank, and he's been very encouraging about providing mortgage financing for us, even though we are a young church. And if we're able to raise 10% down payment, we could finance the property and the interior construction at such favorable terms that our monthly payments would be roughly the same as what we pay now for rent, but for a building that's 3.5 times larger than our current building. And finally, once we finish construction, we would instantly have between $300,000 and $400,000 in equity. As you can see, several significant doors have already opened up for us, and we feel very strongly that Radiant Church is supposed to pursue this building as earnestly yet as wisely as we can. The biggest hurdle that we face, the giants in our promised land, is the down payment we would need to raise in 75 days. In order to seize this opportunity, we need to raise $90,000 in just 10 weeks. I believe we can do this. I believe we are supposed to do this, but I know that we sincerely need your help. Back in January, during a time of prayer and fasting, one of our leaders was reminded of a man named Gideon. In the book of Judges, chapter 7, we learn of an ordinary guy who faced insurmountable odds but felt compelled by God to lead an army of just 300 warriors into battle. God worked through those 300 to give his people a seemingly impossible victory as the warrior shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." And now we are humbly asking for just 300 people to give at least $300 to help us raise this $90,000. For everyone who gives at least 300, we're going to give a stainless steel replica sword as a token of our thanks and a remembrance of joining us in this victory. And for those that may not care for a sword, we're going to offer a different type of sword, my favorite study Bible, the Spirit-Filled Life Bible, in my favorite devotional translation. We believe some will be able to give significantly more than $300, maybe $3,000, maybe $30,000, whatever it is. We truly appreciate any size gift. One little girl has already given $3, while one gentleman said he wanted to give $1,200 so he could get a sword for all 4 of his sons. I'm simply asking you to pray with us for this miracle and then be obedient to what God says to you. Will you do that? There are a few ways you can give. We've set up a crowdfunding site that's easy and safe to use. Plus, you can share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter or by email, and we would really like for you to do that, please. You can also give securely on our website, radiantatl.com. There's a special designated building fund account called Just 300. Or if you prefer, our mailing address is 950 Eagles Landing Parkway, Suite 428, Stockbridge, Georgia 30281. If you'd like more information, you can email us at info@radiantatl.com. That's info@radiantatl.com. Again, I'm humbly asking you to pray with us for this miracle and then just simply be obedient to what God says to you. Thank you so much. God bless you.